The world's going to hell and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Or is there? Hey guys, thanks for clicking in. I was offended by something somebody called me on the internet the other day. Imagine that, eh? This guy had the gall to call me an optimist. An optimist. Yeah, nowadays, that's not always a good word. Yeah, we're all entitled to our opinions, no matter how dumb they are. Actually, this guy's a pretty smart fella, so I shouldn't be mocking him too much. And I know I wasn't really offended. I've been called worse by a lot better. I used to see what my wife calls me. It ain't pretty sometimes, and she likes me. Anyways, what got this all started was somebody posted an article on the Facebook about a guaranteed income or a living wage. And it's this idea that the government should be shelling out a fixed amount of cash to everybody regardless to make sure that we all have what we need to have a comfortable way of life. And of course, the comments most of them were negative. It was a stupid idea. It's just socialism. It's going to bankrupt the country. It's just you know who being you know what. What else? We're just taking money out of our pockets, harder money out of our pockets, and giving it to the freeloaders because they don't deserve nothing. And consider myself a centrist, so I think we're taking it to extremes. But hey, everybody has a point, right? So I thought I'd inject my 2 cents worth, and I said, why wouldn't every citizen in the country want to make sure every other citizen has at least the basic requirements of life? And I also said that humans love to divide themselves into groups. And these groups here we got half the country who thinks it's a great idea, but they have no clue how to do it or what it's going to cost us. And they got the other group that thinks it's a terrible idea because they have no idea how to do it or what it's going to cost us. And I said, well, like I said, it's probably a good idea if it's done right. Which means we got to do some things. We got to take our time, come up with a plan, long-term plan. It's going to have to incorporate all different kinds of stuff that we're already doing to help people out into this thing. It's going to have to be something that's going to work over the long term, which means consecutive governments are going to have to go along with it. And you know what they're like. As soon as they get into power, well, we're going to toss that all out because we don't agree with that kind of stuff. And that's usually the way it goes, right? But I also said, most importantly, we're going to have to come to a consensus that this is something we want to do. And we're going to have to come to a consensus on just what that minimum should be. What does it take? How much is enough for everybody? Guaranteed, even the freeloaders. Well, this is why my friend called me an optimist. But I didn't think I was being an optimist. I thought I was practicing pragmatic idealism. Yeah. So, what is pragmatic idealism? Well, basically, it's a principle of democracy. I believe the only way to save mankind from himself is to engage in true democracy. But we don't live in a true democracy. We've never lived in a true democracy. And as far as I know, no one true democracy has ever existed. And the reason it doesn't exist is because we don't observe the principles of democracy, the basic fundamentals that are needed for democracies to survive. I think there's at least 12 of them. I come up with the 12 I've come up with. One of them is pragmatic idealism. It's number 9 on my checklist, actually. It goes something like this. Democracies must always strive to find solutions that are both fair and practical for the greatest number of people, but it is impossible to find solutions that are satisfactory for everyone every time. Sounds simple enough, right? Boils down to, we can't live in the worlds of our dreams. That doesn't mean we should stop going after them, but we have to take into account the reality in which we find ourselves in. I'll try to come up with a couple examples here. Parliamentary procedures. Ideally, what's supposed to happen is that our representatives go to Parliament, we sit down, we debate, we argue, we discuss, and eventually they come up with a plan that everybody may not be greatly happy with, but it's something we can all live with. But that rarely happens, right? So what they've done instead is that they've come up with these rules and procedures. This is, you know, we have to debate stuff, but there's a limit to how long we can debate it. We go to committees. We offer amendments, but there's a limit to the number of amendments you can try to put in. And then we have this three-tier system, where everything has to be read 3 times. We got the 3 levels: the lower house, the higher house, and the crown. Each one has to approve of it, and then it goes back down with amendments, and it goes back up again. And sooner or later, every group has to vote on it. And again, because we can't always come up with a consensus, say, hey, yeah, this is a good idea, let's go do this. So we have to vote on it. And the consensus is actually majority rule. What it means is that we all agree that the majority viewpoint is going to be the predominant one. So again, pragmatic idealism. How can we do it in our personal lives? Let's see. You like cake? Everybody likes cake, right? Ideally, everybody would have cake in their life all the time. But the realism is we don't always have cake in our lives. So what do we do about it? Well, we got choices to make, right? We can say, okay, well, ideally we'd have cake, but we don't have cake, so we're just going to go without cake. Or we can decide, okay, well, we're going to go out and buy a cake. Or we're going to go make a cake. Or in some cases, you bat your baby blues and hope your wife will make you a cake. That really works, though, but this will stop me from trying, right? That's the ideal. Anyways, another ideal. Ideally, I'd have $1 million when I retire. Realistically, that was never going to happen. So, how do I deal with that? Well, I have choices. I can either be miserable because I'm never going to be rich, or I can go, who cares, right? Oh, the government's going to take care of me. Or I can work to save as much money as I can and adjust my lifestyle to fit within my means. This is how it works. That's pragmatic idealism. Now, some people might think pragmatic idealism is just another way of saying compromise. And is it a compromise? Well, yes and no. I consider it just being realistic. We have a problem in today's society, at least I think we have a problem, and that is this idea that winning means we win. The individual wins. And that's, in a society, I don't think that's how it's supposed to go. I think what we're supposed to do is try and find solutions so that everybody wins, or at least doesn't lose. It's part of the difference between our higher ideals and our basic instincts. Instinctively, we look out for ourselves. Our higher selves want to create a society where we all feel a part of. And that's what I think pragmatic idealism is about. Pragmatic idealism is the acknowledgement that we can never, ever have the world of our dreams as we see it. But we can come closest to it when we work with others to help them create their dreams as they help us realize ours. I don't know. Hey, to me, that's the ideal. What the realism is, we're never going to ever completely achieve that ideal. That's a pragmatic idealism. So, what are some of the ways you've practiced pragmatic idealism, even if you didn't know that's what you were doing? Please send your thoughts in the comments. And if you have any ideas on how I can make this better or things you might like me to talk about, please enter them in the comments too. And if you liked it, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the like button anyways. I need all the help I can get. So, until I see you again in 2 weeks, stay safe, have a great day everyone, and go be the heroes of your own stories. Mikey out.